Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. We're about to get back in the motorhome and head off to our next campsite. We've just had a couple of nights in Kalmar in Sweden. We haven't done a video of this one, so unfortunately you won't get to see it, but there has been some social media posts. Our next stop is another first camp. We're heading slightly further north and inland. We're heading towards Lake Vättern, which is the second largest lake in Sweden. We've got a really nice campsite by the look of it, with a pitch that overlooks the water, and that's FIRST CAMP GRÄNNA. Now, I'm probably pronouncing these places wrong and I apologise.
I spoke to somebody earlier on today and they kept correcting everything that we were saying, so and yes, it's and then we couldn't remember how to say them. So.
And then when I did do a pronunciation, he says, "You sound Dutch," and I'm like, not really, that's not what I was trying for. Anyway, so I'll just carry on with my mumblings, and you can look it up on a map. As always, though, I will put links down here. So yeah, it's going to be about a 3-hour drive in the Sportivo to this campsite. Got a couple of days there. What we're going to do is have a look at the campsite, go into the town, because it looks quite quaint in a way. Candy shops, well, let me get there. Ice cream shops,
and this
cafes,
is all news to me.
Restaurants, and then there's a ferry, and it'll take you over to an island which is on Lake Vättern, about a 25-minute ferry trip. So we're going to do that, all being well. Take the e-bikes with us. You can go across on your motorhome, in your car, on foot, or with your e-bike.
You go across on your motorhome.
On your motorhome. You can do it, you can sit right on the motorhome. But yeah, so you can go across on all of those. We're going to take our e-bikes and cycle round part of the island. And again, on there, there's places to stop and see, places to eat. And it's meant to be very scenic. I think the Swedish culture is all about being outdoors and enjoying nature, not quite how we tend to do things at home. So it is actually very relaxed, very well organised, very clean. And very expensive.
And very nice.
And very nice. So yeah, let's jump into the motorhome, get on the road for 3 hours, and we will see you as we arrive at FIRST CAMP GRÄNNA.
3 hours?
Yeah. You get to navigate. That was a really nice 3-hour drive to Gränna, and we are here, and there is the lake. That is Lake Vättern, which is the second largest lake in Sweden, and it is absolutely massive. Jules and I, we actually arrived yesterday. We've had a really nice sleep last night, very quiet. This first camp, so we arrived at reception, went and checked in. I had pre-booked pitch 46. It's called a sea view pitch, although it's a lake. So, but you get the idea. We've got water. Now, the sea view pitches actually run all the way down this line here, where Jules will just show you now. So that is the line of sea view pitches. I don't think this is bad value. I've paid £28 a night. It's the beginning of June. £28, electric hookup, and a view like that. This site is really quiet. All of these pitches here, they're all grass pitches. Most of them have electric. There are some non-electric at the top end that I think are a little bit cheaper. I think that's about £23 a night, but an absolutely fantastic site. The service blocks are in the middle, standard sort of first camp setup, but on this one there are male and female, and then there are some sort of more communal ones that have the little separate rooms that Jules and I used on one of the other sites. So yeah, this is our amazing pitch. What we will be doing in this video is we are going to walk up into the town of Gränna, which is where we drove in and saw the driving in footage. So we're going to go up there, have a look at the candy shops, and we are going to go and explore just down here. Jules and I went last night, but we will take you over there where those sort of, say, huts are. They look like huts because they're red and they're made of wood, but where those buildings are, they're actually all restaurants. There's a burger bar, pizza, a steakhouse, I think two ice cream shops. So some really nice little eateries there, and they're not overly expensive. And you also get the ferry from there. The ferry is going to take you over to the island of Visingsö, which is what we can actually see over there. That isn't the other side of the lake. That's an island, and that is where we're going to hopefully get to tomorrow on our travels on the e-bikes. But I'll tell you more about that in a minute, because we're going to venture off there and go and explore that shortly. Literally just at the other side of the footpath that runs in front of our pitch, there is a beach area, so you can get to that from your pitch. Lovely beach area, and you can swim within this area. You can see a wall. You can walk around there. That walled area goes all the way around, and it'll bring you out down at the restaurants as well. So there's loads of places to walk here. You can go cycling, and obviously you can just walk up into town. And I'd imagine there's buses. Not looked into that myself, but yeah, it's all going on. So what we shall do today is get our feet warmed up and head out and explore this area, and then tomorrow we'll go a bit further afield on the bikes. We've walked up the hill from the campsite, and we're on the main street through Gränna. This is where we actually drove in when we arrived at the site. And if you look, so this street is almost like a cobbly road surface, and then it is lined with some really quaint little shops. There's various restaurants, there's coffee shops, and there's the candy cane shops. There's all these little candy shops, they're everywhere. I don't know what the history is behind the link with the candy shops. I need to find out. Somebody may know, so if you do know, put it in the comments and then you'll save me a job. But yeah, it is really, really pretty. Today it's Monday the 2nd of June. It's fairly quiet. When we drove through yesterday, it was Sunday. It was much busier. In summer it's going to be much busier than this, obviously. But it just gives you an idea about the high street and what there is to see here. So Jules and I will carry on trotting along and having a look through the windows to see what we can see. But that is the high street in Gränna. Just a few minutes from the pitch, and this is the area where I was pointing at the buildings. I said about the eateries. So here they are. So right down at the end, there's a burger place. I think it's called Smashed Burger. Then there's a steakhouse. There's a tzatziki place, and then ice cream shops. You know, I like those. A place that does pizza, more ice cream, a gift shop, and this is sort of obviously the place you're going to come to on an evening. Now, if you do want to get the ferry over to the island, the ferry goes from here. There's two ferries that run, and they seem to go going backwards and forwards from very, very early to late at night, because the people do live on the island. You can book it online, or where the people are stood there, that's like a ticket office. So if you have just come down, you can get a ticket there. Looking online, I think it's about £7.50 per person return with a pedal bike, I think. Don't quote me, go on the website. If you want to come with your motorhome or your car, you drive down the road and you literally start queuing there. Obviously you need to book your ticket online or go to the ticket office, and then it's going to take about 25 minutes to sail across the water. I don't think the ferry's on its way back at the moment, but it is a big yellow ferry, and I've been watching it from the pitch. So that you won't miss it, big and yellow, and that's what you're going to be going on. So yeah, this is the ferry area and the restaurant and food part. Jules and I haven't tried it as yet. We're going to come down later tonight and test out. I don't know if it's going to be a burger or a pizza. I don't know, but I say not badly priced. So that is the ferry area. Right, Jules and I are going to do our bit, and we're going to next have a walk out along that wall that I showed you. So let's head out there and take a look on the walled area. It is quite windy today. That wind's coming straight off the lake, and it is a little bit cooler, but yesterday we sat out last night, it was lovely and warm. So don't think this is what the weather's always like. When it's warm here, it is red hot and the sun's really strong. It's just behind the clouds at the moment. I've walked from over there, like I said I was going to do, so trotted down here. We've just stopped here because you can see that the ferry is just making its way across the water and in. So yeah, and what we've also got, I just want to show you these. They've made out of concrete these seats as well. So if you are having a wander along and you want to take 5 minutes to have a little stop, you can sit in these lovely little seats, try not to fall in. And there's also stairs so you can get down into the water. There's benches to sit on. It's absolutely lovely. This morning it was cracking the flags and I sat out with my cup of tea. I'm not doing that right this minute. And yeah, so there we go. So the ferry's going to come in and park up there and everyone's going to get on it. But for now, Jules and I are going to carry on our little path, and we can walk all the way back round and make our way to the Sportivo, which is almost opposite us. So yeah, absolutely lovely. Really enjoying it. So Gränna, so far I'd say it's quite quaint, but yeah, it's a nice little place. And I think in terms of outdoor activities, if you're going over to the island to explore, that's a really nice outdoory place. But do pick a good day, because yesterday afternoon after we got here, it hammered it down. And if you get caught out, you're going to get caught out stuck on an island. So yeah, just plan ahead and wear appropriate clothing. Right, onwards. Good morning, campers. So today is our last day at Gränna and we are going on the ferry to the island, yes. So we're going to walk down and buy our tickets at the little window. You can get them online, but you know me, I just like to talk to people. So I'm going to go to the little window and get a ticket. If it comes to it, you can get a ticket on board the boat, but you just have to pay a little bit extra for the privilege of doing that. So yeah, we're going to get the boat. We're going as foot passengers, we've decided. We didn't know where to take the bikes or go on foot, but we're going to go on foot. So what I shall do is I shall see you down at the boat. So we've joined the foot passenger queue, which is just along here. If you're coming with your bike, this is where you're going to wait as well. And then you're going to board the actual ferry just here. Obviously to my right is where you'd wait if you come with a motor vehicle. So we're going to board the ferry and yeah, head across the water next. We made it. So there's our boat. We've because you've no one walked behind me at that moment as I just wanged my arm out. But yeah, that's our boat. So yeah, we made it over. That was really good fun. But oh gosh, it was freezing on the top deck. It's the 2nd or 3rd of June. 3rd of June, I think it is. Oh heck, yeah, I'm glad I got my body warmer on. So what we've made it over. What we're going to do is, if we walk this way, there's a number of little restaurants and places to eat. There's ice cream shops. So as you come off the boat, you can venture up here to the top deck. That's where we're going to go next. And then over around to the other side, there's also a number of restaurants and ice cream shops over there. The road itself heads off. I suggest you just look at a map, use your phone, decide on the route you're going. You can go north or south. There is some sort of ruin over there. You know I love a pile of ruins, so we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But what we'll do, we'll just go up over here. Now up here, what they also have is a horse and cart. I don't know the full ins and outs, I haven't got prices on this, but you can take the horse and cart and do a little trip of part of the island, and you get that just up there. So we'll venture up there and have a look. But yeah, that boat trip was easy. There are some loos on board, and yeah, not bad. So we'll venture up these stairs and have a look up here. This is me going fast. This is about the most exercise I've done for a few days. I've been a little bit lazy on this trip. I normally smash it out, but I haven't. It does look like when everyone gets off the boat, the first thing to do is go and buy buy food and stuff. So yeah, so there's bits up here. Now you can hire bikes as well if you're coming without your bike. The horse and cart ride is over here. You can see just over there. So I'm not sure whether you buy your ticket somewhere else and jump on board. Don't know. You can work it all out when you get here. But yeah, look, it's a little horse and cart for people to go on. That's just over there. And then Jules and I are going to have a little walk around and explore. There seems to be quite a bit of stuff to do, to be fair, at this like first bit. But yeah, so there you go. There, oh bless them. Horse and cart. So you can have a little tour around. I'll see if I can find out prices for that while I'm here and what the crack is. There's obviously some sort of ticket booth over there as well for bits. So yeah, right, Jules and I'll do some exploring and find out what the crack is with everything. I found the castle ruins. It's actually quite an interesting story, which I'll take you over and we'll read it off the board together. I've remembered most of the story, but I don't want to sound like I've totally made it up, which is what I normally do. But there's a staircase just here, so you can actually go up there, which I'm going to do, but this is a nice view of it. So there's the castle. Let's go read the board. And I can obviously explain a little bit of the history of this. I like stuff like this. I think when I was a kid it was totally boring, but now I'm a bit more into it. So basically the castle ruins. The castle was founded many years ago. This picture here is of around 1660 of how it originally looked when it was in its proper format. And I'll skip forward, but basically it housed, during the 18th century, there was a war, and it housed around 1,600 prisoners, mainly Russians, and there were some German guards here, and unfortunately a fire broke out and literally burnt it to the ground. And then people came and took stone as well. They sort of pillaged stone. So let's venture up. I'll take you up the stairs. We'll see you at the top. Right, let's go have a look. And here's a different view of the castle from a different place. So yeah, quite a nice spot. Looks like you can just wander around. You don't have to pay for this bit, or at least I haven't seen anywhere you've got to pay for it. So you just have a wander around and explore it a bit. So we'll do that and then carry on having a little wander around the island. And then we're going to get a ferry back and we're going to try smashed burger for lunch. You'll remember when we were over at the Gränna side, I pointed out earlier in the video somewhere called Smashed Burger. That's what we're going to do for lunch today. So yeah, right, we'll have a trot round, get on the boat back and go get a smashed burger. And we're back on the pitch at FIRST Camp GRÄNNA. Well, the little ferry trip, absolutely love that. That is definitely worth doing. You get over onto the island, absolutely brilliant. What I'd say is if you are just on foot, depends how far you're going to get realistically. You might be best with a bike or have a drive on there. And then we got the boat back and we went to Smashed Burger like we said we were going to. I'm going to put the links for bits and pieces down here. But next level experience, and it wasn't overly expensive. Sweden is quite an expensive place, but that was not too bad at all. So I had a burger, Jules had a chicken burger. I won't bore you with all the ins and outs of that, but that was really, really tasty food. Very pleased with that. So that is it. We will be leaving here tomorrow. We're actually going to the Carber factory, which is where our motorhome was built. I don't know if we'll be able to film at all there or whether it is literally just to go and see the factory and how the motorhome was put together. Also on this trip, we've got a couple more sites. We've got 2 more in Sweden and 1 in Germany. I don't know how much more filming Jules and I will be doing because we're literally making our way straight back down, stopping at those sites and getting the ferry back home. I'm hoping though to stop at a moose farm on the way. I've always wanted to see a moose. Don't ask me why. I love animals, and when we came to Sweden in 2019, on the road, Jules is rolling his eyes behind the camera. I'll tell you really quickly, but everywhere we went, I saw signs for moose, and I just wanted to see a moose, and I've never seen one. So I found a moose safari, and I think I might film this if we go and do it. Basically, you arrive at the moose safari. You can either drive your car or motorhome through the safari, if you're brave, or you can get on a train and do the safari. And they've got moose and bison. So all being well, there will be a video after this of us doing a moose safari with moose and bison. I'm really quite excited about that. And then firing home, and heck, we've got a busy few weeks ahead of us when we get back, but you'll see all that on the channel as we head through the month of June and into July. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed having a look at First Camp Gränna and the area round here. All the links will be down there. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.